Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I want to welcome you to the show. Today, of course, is hump day, and we're all excited about Wednesday. It's nice weather and all, but we got some cold weather coming this weekend, so make sure you prepare for it in your outdoor plans. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Run by and check out all the programs they have to offer. High today, just going to hit 65, and low is going to be 46, and really sunny day. Water temperature remains at 58 degrees. It's been that way now for a couple of weeks, and it's going to be warming up before we know it. We're going to talk about that and show you the chart maybe tomorrow. Take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola of Bluntstown, nice and steady, good for bass fishing. It's going to be falling out a little bit. It's at 8.6 this morning, and looking for Friday, it's going to get down around 7 foot if you're going on the river this weekend. The Choctahatchee at Caryville, it's really level too. It's reading a 6.5 this morning. It's going to stay around there all the way through Friday night, and maybe start dropping just a hair Saturday morning. We'll know more about that on tomorrow's forecast. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. And this chart here you see on the screen, you can pick up these charts at C&G Sporting Goods. And our tides today, they're getting a little bit stronger. We're getting a low tide at 12:54 and a high tide at 2:39. All right. And we got a marine forecast. It's not going to be blowing as much as it did yesterday, but it's going to be coming out of the west about 5 to 10. And I've talked to some boys who's gone offshore over the weekend. They were like two different parties I talked to. One went 45 miles, one went 52 miles. And this past weekend was beautiful out offshore. Both of them said what a great time they had and caught some really nice fish. So keep that in the back of your plans, okay? We'll take this break and be right back with our guest. All right, welcome back, and welcome to a familiar face, Ronnie Groom.
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. And we're from C&G Sporting Goods. We'll often talk about the history of C&G, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about the future of what we got coming up next couple of weeks and all. We got all kinds. What's been going on down there?
Well, right now, it's the very best time to go deer hunting. A lot of people have already, quit. It's too cold, and they're not seeing anything. But now people are, it's really good right now. This is the peak of the rut, and the deer are moving, and we're getting them in our contest, and it's the time to go right now. It's time to get out there and get with them because they are rutting right now, and from now to the end of the season, all the way through black powder, it's going to be really good.
Well, I know on your lease, y'all's property up there, y'all got a good group of hunters and all. Have y'all had a pretty good year? Or?
Had pretty good. It's been down a little bit, but the weather's been so crazy this year. All this rain and everything. So that's kind of hurt things, but like I tell everybody, think how much better it'll be next year.
That's true, too. What rule do y'all have? Some people have 6 point, 8 point. What rule do y'all have on y'all's lease?
We use 3.5 years old.
Okay.
And that's not, people say, well, how do you tell? Well, after you do it a little while, you learn, and it's not that hard. The base of the horns, you can look at, the length. If the horns ought to be out past the ears. And once you learn that, a lot of people have, like an 8-point rule, which is not bad, but the tendency there is to shoot your good 8 points, which don't make bigger deer, and shoot the smaller 8 points, So, it's just whatever you like and whatever everybody enjoys, and it's not all about points and horns. It's all about good times.
Well, what we got coming up on February 23rd, we have going to start muzzle loading season or primitive weapon on February 23rd to March the 1st. Always tag in at the end of hunting season. Always a good time to get in the woods because a lot of people get out.
Time. Yeah, right. Those deer, like I say, they're still rutting, and you can see better this time of year because the leaves are off the trees, and it's more open, and the deer, the bucks have been rutting, and they're going back to feeding some, and it's just a prime time to hunt, and I don't feel handicapped at all with a black powder gun. These modern guns are so efficient, and they've made so many advances in the guns and the bullets.
Yeah.
So if you got a question about it or interested in black powder, come down and talk to us.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to be one coming out. I've still got the original one I bought from you when it first came out, the old hammer. I still have that one.
It's a great gun, old Hawking gun.
It is, but and I love shooting the thing, but it's, the more modern gun's just a lot more accurate, I think. Well, that old round ball, it's like I can see it go zigzagging when I shoot it.
It takes a lot of experimenting with with the old type guns like that. You're shooting a round ball and patches. You got to, to use a 10,000th patch, or what size ball do you shoot in it, and how much powder to finally get a good accurate.
You're talking about just the joy of shooting, though. When I first got that, it was just a thrill, just doing like the old Revolutionary. I was thinking about our history and all that. How in the world those guys, you're getting shot at, you're trying to pack that in there.
Yeah, how do you load fast?
Oh, man.
But the guns have made tremendous advances. The easiest thing, the best thing, I think, is they're so easy to open up and load and to clean. You can take them apart so easy. The barrels pop off, and you pop the breech plug out and clean them real easy. Where used to, it was just an act of Congress to get that gun clean. In fact, it used to be that everybody say, well, just take it in the shower, will you, in hot water and wash that thing off. But the new ones are so simple and so more efficient.
All right. Well, what do you guys? You got some of the black powder stuff, or what do you?
Yeah, we got some black powder things here. The old guns like you were talking about shot a number 11 cap like this right here.
Yep.
And it's real small, but it would do the job. Now the new ones, the new guns shoot a shotgun primer, a 209 shotgun primer, which gives you 10 times the powder, 10 times the fire.
So I can see it's bigger.
So you're much more likely to not have a hang fire. It's going to set it off probably. That's the best thing. As far as powders, let's see. Let's start here with Pyrodex. These little Pyrodex pellets. Used to you had to measure your powder out and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Now you can use 2 of these pellets. That's 100 grain. You can use 3, 150.
So most people going to use. What do most people use? What do you use?
Use 100 grains.
100 grain. Okay.
Now you can go to 150 because everybody thinks more is better, but it just increases the recoil tremendously, and you don't get much more power out of it. Yeah. A lot of that's just shot out the end of the barrel. So the Pyrodex is a popular powder, and then the one that came ahead of that now is Pyrodex. I'm sorry, 777. This is a little cleaner burning and a little better powder. But the very best thing to use is the newest thing is Blackhorn 209. These come in pellets or powder, the other ones, but this one only comes in a loose powder.
Okay.
It's made more like pistol powder, regular pistol powder. It's a little short thing about 1/8 of an inch around. It's hollow in the middle, so it burns on inside and out, and it's cleaner and it's much stronger.
And you just pour. You pour it in there.
Just get 100 grains. You have to have a little measure.
Measure thing. Okay.
And, here's what you do. You get these preloaders.
Okay.
You can cut it the size you want, but I put 100 grains of powder in there, and the bullet goes in right behind it.
Okay.
So when you pour the powder in, the bullet's right there sticking in the barrel too.
Oh man.
See, it's much more efficient.
Yeah.
And you can use 110 is a popular load, but I like 100. If you're shooting 100, 150 yards, that's all in the world you'll ever need.
Yeah.
And you're shooting a pretty heavy bullet in these guns, and the more powder you put in there, and that heavy bullet, it's going to kick.
Well, are the bullets the same kind of bullets, or are they all different sizes on them?
Well, used to, we used a patch and a ball and load it, which was fun, But now we use these bullets, all kind of new type bullets.
Okay.
They get the Sabot bullets, and then they got the one like this with a plastic bottom. When you fire it, this plastic bottom expands, and if you shoot a CVA gun, this is the most popular bullet for it.
Yeah.
It's a power belt. It's a 50 caliber power belt. And that most guns now are 50 caliber. Used to we had 58s and all kind of different sizes and 45s, but 45s are about gone now. Everybody's going to 50 caliber.
So you telling me I got a collector's item in my old 45?
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell you got an older gun if you're shooting 45. And 45 was a good gun. It shoots well. One other item I think is necessary is a short starter. When you go to start these bullets down the barrel, it's hard to take that long ramrod and push it down.
Yeah.
But if you take this short starter and get it started about 4 to 6 inches, then you can take your long ramrod and it'll go right on down. Otherwise, you're liable to deform that bullet or get it started in there a little crooked, and you're going to get a bad shot.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk a little bit more about this and also about turkey season coming up. All right, welcome back. Here with Ronnie Groom talking about all kind of outdoor activities and all, and we're going to get to duck hunting in a minute because we're talking about how much popular it's getting. But let's finish up on a black powder now. This is some really, if you've never shot black powder, seriously, it's just fun shooting. I would highly recommend just going out with a family. I know when my kids were growing up, actually my daughter could outshoot my son and all his friends. They'd come over to the house and we had a tide thing. They were shooting for a tide box down by the water. They were shooting for the inside of the D on tide, and she's the only one that hit it. The other boys hit all around it. So it's fun.
We used to have a club, a black powder club, and on Sunday afternoons we'd meet and have shoots. And we did novel things like we would put up little chunks of clay on the board, and shoot them off. And we had one shot we made. We took an axe and put it up so the blade was facing us. And we would try to split the bullet and break 2 clods of dirt on either side, till one guy shot it with a .58 caliber and broke the axe, So that put an end to that.
That's funny. Okay, what are some other things?
One of the problems people have a little difficulty with is loading their guns. They can't get the bullet down the barrel, and they can't clean. The patch gets hung in the barrel. There's several things you can do. First, when you're using a patch on your gun, you got to use the right size patch. If you use a patch that's too small, it's going to come off the ramrod and hang in the barrel, and then you got to try to get it out. And if you use one that's too big, it hangs up in there, and you can't get your ramrod even out. And so you need to use the right size patch, and we carry patches just for 50 calibers. Another way, if you're having a little problem loading, they make an item called bore butter. This is just some kind of a grease that you put down your barrel. It makes your barrel a little more slick, and it's easier to load. And then for cleaning, they make special black powder cleaners. This is a number 13 bore cleaner, cleans your gun out. And I would really emphasize that if you're shooting black powder, that you clean that gun often, particularly at the end of the season. Take it completely apart and clean it good, because black powder is very corrosive, and it tends to jam up your gun and causes problems. So clean it good, and you'll be glad you did, because I know people put it up one year, and next fall they take it out, and you can't cock the gun, and it's all frozen up. So clean it good. And I cleaned mine at the end of the season real good, and about 2 months later I'd go over it again just to make sure.
And there are several places. I know we have the regular season coming up February 23rd, but there are several places, management areas and all, that have just special primitive weapon hunts. For instance, St. Vincent Island, they'll have a primitive weapon hunt for sandbar deer. That's in December. We'd mentioned that before. So it's not just this little short period of time. You got preseason, you got this season here.
A lot of people will hunt with it year round, just like a lot of bow hunters will bow hunt year round. They won't change. If you like your sport like that and you're good at it, then stay with it.
That's right, and it's a challenge. And you can shoot. How far comfortable do you feel shooting yourself?
Well, I could shoot 150 yards without any problem. But you need to practice at that distance, because that big heavy bullet's going to drop some. So you need to just practice and know what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. We'd mention also we're talking about, and you get a lot of feedback down at the store. People come in and talking, and as I get a lot of feedback on social media. Been a good duck season.
Good duck season, and we're seeing an increase in duck hunters, which is a good thing. Duck hunting and turkey hunting is increasing, and this year we've had a pretty good duck season. We had quite a few redhead ducks down here this year. We're talking to all the hunters, and they're having a ball.
It is a lot of fun, and I'm pleased to see that your folks down there are talking about it too, because I see a lot of the younger kids getting into it now. And it's a sport that they really enjoy. And like I was telling you a while ago, and I tell Jeff every year, I show some duck pictures. I tell Jeff after the show, I say, I'm going to get back into duck hunting now.
It's a lot of fun.
It is fun, and there's just so many different opportunities. Do you have decoys and thing down there?
We have waders and decoys. We carry a lot of decoys. In fact, yesterday I saw about 50 boxes of decoys come in for this coming year. We're getting a lot of stuff in for this coming year. And by the way, we got some really cold weather coming in on it. We carry that Mr. Heater, that little portable heater that you can put in your blind, put in your camp, and stay warm.
There's no substitute for that. I mean,
You're right.
I was in the stand last week for 11 hours, and I had some of those foot warmers and toe warmers that I got down there from your place, and I don't know if I could have made it if I hadn't had them, because it was cold.
I'd love to take those hand warmers and put them on my ears and make it cold.
That's not a bad idea. Okay, we're going to take our final break and come back in a minute. All right, welcome back. This is Ronnie Groom. Let's take a look at our fishing game forecast for today, brought to us by Mark Coward, Edgewater Beach Realty, 832-6000. Our time today, 5:09 to 7:09 this morning. We're right in the middle of it now. If you get a chance to run out, catch a fish, or shoot a big buck, just run out and do it. Nothing to it. And then tonight, 5:33 to 7:33. Okay, that's our two times. And Ronnie, we got Valentine's Day coming up Saturday, and I told them on the show, I told these guys at least give their wife a choice of what they want for Valentine's Day. Let them either go fishing with you, hunting with you. But
oh yeah, we got some fine pink guns down there.
Y'all do have some stuff down there?
Yes, sir. We got some pink stuff down there.
Now you know
clothing
your wife or your girlfriend wants a pink gun and socks. We got all that pink stuff.
Yeah, we got some pink stuff. That's gotten to be a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of ladies are into outdoors now.
More so than ever, and it's increasing at a very rapid pace.
It has. All the statistics show that across the country, not just here in the South, it's across the country. Ladies they're buying more pistols and more firearms. They're going out hunting and fishing more than ever have.
Keep the family together. The youngsters can shoot, the women can shoot, can hunt, can fish. Get out and do things together.
Mm-hmm. Also, while we're talking about that. We were talking about we got turkey season coming up soon,
right?
And we'll do a show on that later on, but just as a preliminary.
It opens the 21st of March through April 25th, but in March 14th, 15th we got a youth hunt, and that's the most enjoyable thing I know about turkey is taking. When I took my kids when they were small, now I'm taking grandkids, and you talk about having a good time now. We'll go out and we'll turkey hunt till 9:30 and go in and get a big breakfast, and it's really a lot of fun, and the kids just love it.
Yeah, and all the management areas are open to turkey, and turkey, of course, made a huge comeback over the years, and it's a great sport. Also, we were talking about we're right around the corner. Of course, it's cold weather now, but pretty soon we're going to have some warm weather. And we already said snake bites are right around the corner too.
Yes, sir.
You had one of your customers.
A good friend of mine and yours was bitten by a rattlesnake not recently, and luckily it was a dry bite, which means the snake did not inject poison. He just bit, more as a warning,
Yeah.
And so he was very fortunate. But I just caution you because they'll be coming out of their holes for long, and you need to be careful because these things are hard to see if they're coiled up in the grass.
Just 2 weeks ago, I showed like a little minute-and-a-half video of one. I was getting some firewood and reaching down, and there was a little baby one sitting right down there. I couldn't even see him; he's so well camouflaged. And
you just look out for them, and just be careful. That's all I got to say. But snake boots are really good. If you're in the woods like most of us are, it's good to invest in a pair of snake boots.
And think about it too, and we talk about first aid and all. The best thing to do when it happens, and we're going to talk about in more detail. Try to get to the hospital as soon as you can.
Right, and if you kill the snake, take it with you, because the doctors want to be sure of what it was. I could tell them what it was. I guarantee you.
Another thing too is getting popular. We hadn't even talked about this earlier, but the predator hunting.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a big thing.
We'll talk about all the things I said on the show yesterday. Everything that my family that we take, that we shoot, we eat, with the exception of predators. If you're predator hunting, we saw a picture earlier before it came on the show where some coyotes and you said you saw where some coyotes got in a buck and all this.
Yeah, they got a big buck. 2 coyotes got them. They get them from the rear and get them to bleeding, and then they bleed down and they get them. The coyotes are really a problem, and when I was a youngster, we didn't have any coyotes, but we've got them everywhere now. And there needs to be, it's like bears. Nobody wants to do away with them, but you got to keep them under control. That's just common sense.
The hunting for predators now, do you have some game calls down there?
Oh, yeah, we got electronic game calls that you can just mash a button and get a dying rabbit call or a young pup's call, or just, you'll have 100 calls on there. You just mash a button. In fact, a little later on, I'll bring some in and we'll show it and demonstrate it.
And that's a great off-season sport too. You can keep sharp on your shooting and all, and really you're doing a good deed for nature and for conservation.
You got to keep things under control. That's just natural.
Yeah, and to think about it also, when you take one, they're so adaptable to area. I mean,
Yeah.
they can get in the edge of a town and stay right on the edge of town.
Oh, they can live right in town.
Yeah.
You know, up around my house, up around Deer Point up there, we see them all the time. You know, all the way right in the middle of houses and everything. They are a very, very smart animal. Very smart.
All right, we got a couple minutes left. We've been talking about a lot of hunting and all, but now fishing is going to be right around the corner. I mean,
Oh yeah,
this
it's
is
good now.
There's some. You getting some reports down there?
Yeah.
That's something we overlook. We'll talk about it a lot of times in February. There's some good bass fishing.
That's right.
And
Crappie fishing is really good right now.
have you any folks come down talking about crappie fishing?
Oh yeah.
They're catching
they're catching them. And some brim, and a buddy of mine went up to Eufaula and caught catfish like crazy.
Yeah.
And said the big brim will be there sometime in March. He knows the exact date, and he's going to be there. Guarantee you.
That's what experience of catching them will do. But that's something you don't want to look though. It's early, the pre-spawn on the bass and all is all coming out in February.
And by the way, if you want to know how to catch crappie, bass, deer hunt, find somebody that's good at it, and go with them and listen to them.
Yeah, you're exactly
That's
right.
the way to learn.
A good friend of mine that comes on the show, Mark and Michael Coward. They moved down here and didn't know anything about redfish. And of course, they went Bill Allen. Bill Allen taught them how, and now they're really, really good at
Even if you have to pay somebody the first trip, it'll save you a lot of time. It's like our bow schools we used to do. We could advance the deer hunter 5 years from where if he'd go on his own.
That's right.
Just by coming to the bow school.
And don't be afraid to ask and all.
Right.
And one of the best places to go crappie fishing over here in Lake Talquin. And it's a really good place. And, okay, we're going to run out of time. Any closing remarks you want to tell folks? We got
just be careful and go out and have a good time. Take the family.
And that's such good advice at this day and time too. The quality of time they spend in the outdoors just cannot be replaced. It's just great memories. And take a camera too. Take pictures.
That's right. Take pictures. I've got, and you've got pictures, old ones that I wouldn't take anything.
That's
for.
right. That's right. Great memories.
Yeah.
All right, folks, thank you all so much for watching us on Panhandle Outdoors. Run down and see Ronnie, ask him all kind of questions, see all the stuff they got down there. And as always, ask you to do something good for someone else today. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.